Field Report Number 10. The Slot Machine. Sector. Everywhere on Earth. Subject. The Human Bonding System. Anomaly. Humans describe their most painful relationships as the hardest to leave. My research team has spent considerable time observing human attachment. We expected to find that humans stay in relationships because those relationships are good, stable, warm, consistent. What we found instead was something far more disturbing. The humans who are hardest to leave are not the ones who treat you best. They are the ones who treat you best sometimes. In 1957, a human behavioral scientist named Burgess Frederick Skinner placed laboratory rats inside a sealed box equipped with a small lever. When a rat pressed the lever, it received a pellet of food. Skinner ran this experiment in 3 different ways. In the first version, the rat received food every single time it pressed the lever. The rats learned quickly, and they stopped pressing when they were full. In the second version, the rats received no food at all. They tried a few times and gave up. But in the third version, and this is the one that changed how we understand behavior across all species on this planet, the food appeared randomly. Sometimes on the 3rd press, sometimes on the 15th, sometimes not for 50 presses in a row. And the rats in that third box pressed the lever obsessively, desperately, far more than any rat in the other conditions. Even when the food stopped coming entirely, they kept pressing and pressing, long after any rational calculation would have said, stop. Skinner called this the variable ratio reinforcement schedule. It is the most powerful behavior-generating mechanism ever identified in animal psychology. It is also the exact architecture of a slot machine. And here is what my research team discovered in the field. It is also the exact architecture of a toxic relationship. Let me show you how it appears in ordinary human life. Example 1. A man has been with a partner for 3 years. She is cold for weeks at a time, dismissive, emotionally absent, critical of small things. Then, without warning, she becomes the person he fell in love with. Attentive, tender, full of the warmth he has been waiting for. He thinks, this is who she really is. This is why I stay. But what is actually happening in his brain is this. His dopamine system, the same circuit that fires in every gambling addict the moment before the wheel stops spinning, has been conditioned to spike precisely because the reward is unpredictable. The warmth does not feel good because it is good. It feels overwhelming because it was uncertain. The coldness before it is not the problem. It is the mechanism. Without the coldness, the warmth would not feel like a jackpot. Example 2. Consider a close friendship. Your friend is supportive and warm about 60% of the time. But occasionally, unpredictably, they become cutting, dismissive. They cancel plans without explanation, make subtle comments designed to make you feel small, then laugh it off. You find yourself working harder for this person's approval than for anyone else's in your life. Replaying conversations at 2 in the morning, wondering what you did wrong, trying to get back to the good version of them. That effort, that obsessive focus, is not love. It is a variable ratio schedule. You are pressing the lever. Example 3. Consider the mechanism your species accidentally built into social media. The notification badge does not tell you how many likes you received. It only tells you that something happened. So you open it. Sometimes nothing. Sometimes 1. Sometimes 47. The variable ratio schedule is built into the interface by design. Your species now spends an average of 6 hours per day pressing that lever. Now I want to correct the most damaging misread my team has encountered while studying this pattern. The misread is this, that people who cannot leave a toxic relationship are weak, irrational, lacking self-respect, choosing to suffer. The opposite is true. Their brain is functioning exactly as Skinner's rats were functioning. Normal dopamine architecture, optimized over millions of years of evolution, responding to an unpredictable reward schedule with maximum engagement. The brain cannot tell the difference between a slot machine and a person who is warm sometimes. It responds the same way to both. You are not broken for staying. You are being slot machined. Understanding this changes the exit strategy entirely. The exit requires 2 recognitions. First, identify the schedule. Ask yourself, is this relationship consistent, or is the warmth unpredictable? If you cannot predict when the kindness will come, you are on a variable ratio schedule. That gap between the coldness and the warmth is not just painful. It is the machine working as designed. Second, understand what the dopamine spike is actually telling you. That rush you feel when the warmth finally arrives, after days or weeks of coldness, is not evidence that the relationship is right for you. It is evidence that your reward system has been calibrated to that specific person's unpredictable schedule. The intensity of that feeling is a symptom, not a signal. Here is one concrete action you can take this week. For 7 days, keep a simple log. Write down each time this person makes you feel genuinely valued, and each time they make you feel small, dismissed, or anxious. Do not look for meaning in the entries. Just look at the ratio. If the warmth is rare and the anxiety is consistent, you already have your answer. Your brain has simply been trained not to trust it. I find this particularly striking from a research perspective. Humans are, in many ways, far more aware of slot machine mechanics when a physical machine is in front of them. No one stays at a slot machine for 3 years and calls it a relationship, but the neural circuitry is identical. The difference is only that one of them has a face you recognize, and a history you remember, and a warmth that, when it finally comes, feels like the most real thing in the world. My team's final observation for this report. The most important thing Skinner's experiment revealed is not that the rats were foolish. It is that the variable schedule is more powerful than the animal's own experience of suffering. The rats pressed the lever even when pressing clearly hurt them. That is not weakness. That is the schedule running exactly as designed. You now know what the machine looks like. Subscribe for more alien field notes on the hidden mechanics of being human.